Hello everyone, MFPallytime here, and welcome back to Orcs Must Die 3. Been a little while since the last episode. I very arrogantly was like, yeah, I'll be able to knock this level out, no problem. If you haven't been following our series, I've talked about it a lot, but I beat the game originally through co-op. And this was like the level where we started to care about score and multipliers and really refined our strategies. So I was expecting to walk in and just plow right through it. However, it's taking me several days of attempts to get a strategy that works on this level. I have been very, very humbled by this level, but some things have changed since our last episode. A DLC has been dropped for the game. You'll see some new enemies hanging out back here in the corner, as well as a new campaign that has been added. If you can call it that, there's only 3 levels. I haven't looked at this yet. I was expecting a little more than 3 levels. There's also been 3 new traps that have been added, but I'm not going to touch any of those. We're going to save those specifically for the DLC campaign. Just in case you don't get the DLC, I don't want you to feel like you have to use those traps to do any of the strategies that I'm doing. Also new is a career kills tracker at the top of the screen. I would love to know what your career kills are. Even if you haven't played the game, just say 0, because I'm interested to see how much slaying you guys have actually done down in the comments. I think this number's a little low for me. Does it count resets on levels? Does that count? Because 106,000 seems a little on the low side. Either way, our level today is going to be Canyon Keep. I'm going to show you how to get 5 stars on this level, even though I've apparently only gotten 2. It did take me a few days to figure out a strategy for this that has a really nice progression. And man, this level has so many challenges you have to overcome, and I'll show you what they are. As we're getting started here, thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up button video after video. It helps us out a ton. Also, thank you to the new channel members who are supporting the channel for $5 a month. Appreciate you guys. I've noticed an uptick in that recently and just wanted to verbally thank you. So this map is mirrored on 2 sides. We have the west and the eastern side that have really, really big portals that are going to be funneling a ton of orcs into this location. Now, this is a war mode mission, so we do have access to things like the bank of archers instead of the normal archers, but I'm going to mostly be focusing on the inside here. Along with these 2 western and eastern paths, we also have a middle row of flyers, which is one of the first challenges we have to overcome. This level's a little different than what we're used to because we don't have just generic flyers. Now we have flyers that are immune to poison damage, are immune to ice damage, immune to arcane damage, and just regular flyers, all attacking us all at once through every different wave, which means we had to really think about the traps that we were bringing into this, and this took a lot of reiteration and trial and error. The strategy I used in co-op does not work at all for me in single player. I had to change up my plan pretty drastically. What we are using today is the stone staff. This helps take down flyers. I have the fear jar, arcane brimstone. This is actually not going to work on all enemies because we are encountering arcane immune enemies, but it'll work on most of them. Tar to slow enemies down, butterfly boxes for the mind control effects. We also have regular archers, which we're going to use quite a lot of in this particular level. We then have the darts augmented with freeze, gravity lifts that we're going to be putting all over the ceiling, as well as the wall freezers as well. I've been affectionately calling this little area on the map the icebox because it's going to be responsible for dealing with most of the ground enemies. And of course, very important on this map, we are using barricades as well. The single variety, not the upgraded to be double, but they do have a little more explosion resistance. If you look at the enemies that are actually going to be attacking us this round, there are sappers. Oh my God, look at that list. There are sappers on the list, but I really think there's only 1 wave of sappers. I actually think including sappers at all is a little bit of a curveball by the developer's part. So for our actual building strategy, we're going to start off with a bunch of these UFOs. I tried using lasers on this map, and it simply was not slowing enemies down enough for me. I was being overwhelmed by hordes of enemies, and I had to go back to square one. Well, what do we do when we're being overwhelmed? we crowd control them. UFOs upgraded to deal physical damage are not only going to deal with a lot of the ground units, they're also going to pick up a significant portion of these flyers as they're making their way down the middle of the map. On the other side of this drawbridge, I'm also going to add in a line of archers. I guess it's not a drawbridge, it's a very static bridge, but we're going to add in another line of archers right back here. The idea being that most enemies that enter the gauntlet will be in range of these archers, but the enemy orc archers will hopefully be picked off by all of the damage happening before they start shooting at our archers that we place down here. Also, any flyers that are not picked up by the UFOs on the first half of the gauntlet should make their way right up to our archers and be shot out of the sky. We do have the regeneration archers today. They heal themselves up a little bit in between damage. If you notice a blank platform here, though, that means one of your archers died, and all you need to do is sell the platform and be able to place them right back down. We have $3,000 left to spend on round one, and I don't really feel the need to spend much of it at all, to be honest with you. So I'm going to hang on to it for now. And let's get round one underway. We'll be able to stand here for most of the level, so we'll get a nice time lapse in. All right, wave one, no problem. Don't let that wave fool you, though. This actually gets a lot more difficult. First wave of ground enemies is going to be coming out of the east side. We're moving over to add in a line of barricades. We don't want them turning right here. We want them going straight into our future trap gauntlet. And kind of the same thing over here. If they can't go right immediately, they'll try to go right through the middle. We want to block that off as well. As far as our kill gauntlet, and by the way, you totally could have built this throughout the round and you would have been fine. We're going to do 2 freezes in the front, as well as butterfly boxes above these, then 3 UFOs, and we still have a decent amount of money here as well. In the middle, we're going to add a second UFO, and then barricades on each side, because we're trying to funnel the enemies into this central area. I had $500 left to spend, so we're going to throw that into a butterfly box on the corner. And hopefully, as most enemies come in here, yes, our archers behind us are going to help us take down the bigger targets. And then I just have to freeze enemies as they walk up. However, with the fear jar, we can save a little bit of our mana and back up and actually help with these flyers with our right click as well. So our archers stay on target, hitting the most deadly enemies. And then throughout the round, we're just going to continue to build this out. As I get more money, we're going to add in more freezes on the walls. That's one of our main sources of damage. We also have a decent nest egg at the moment, so let's add in one of those dart traps onto the ceiling. That'll add in a fair bit of damage here as well. What I'm really trying to accomplish is managing my mana properly, which is why we have the fear jar here. So if I do start to get a little overwhelmed, we can just drop the fear jar and regen a little bit of mana. I am getting hit by archers right now, so I want to back up a little bit. We're going to heal, and then as these ogres and trolls start to make it forward, then we're going to step up again. Hopefully during that time, the really bad enemies that were hitting me are moving forward into the trap gauntlet at this point. You may be wondering where these flyers are coming from. There's actually enough room for flyers to enter on both sides of the map as well. So even though the middle lane of the map wasn't open, we're still getting flyers all the same. And we're going to continue to fill out this gauntlet as we get money. Let's add in another butterfly box on the right. These 2 barricades are simply here to try to get our enemies to funnel into one spot. Luckily for us, those archers are stopping those flyers. And we want to kind of reinforce that spot to keep a minute longer with some tar. We're then going to extend out another UFO. These UFOs deal really good damage to enemies once you get that physical damage addition, that upgrade, but they don't do much damage to these super big enemies. They do such a great job of just filtering out the slower units. Let's go ahead and add 2 more darts to the side. As wave 3 starts, we do have to do a little bit more building. Nothing you have to super rush for, but we are going to want to build up this barricade line on the west side. Remember, both of these sides are mirrored. Now every other path is blocked off, and all of the enemies are going to be going right here. Let's add some brimstone to the front. That actually seems a little too expensive for me at the moment. So instead of brimstone, we're going to extend out the wall ice shooters and just continue to build those butterfly boxes above those. Super duper important that those butterfly boxes are there. That crowd control is what we're really going to be relying on to keep those bigger enemies inside of this area. And hopefully by the end of this round, we won't actually have to use our stone staff on those big ogres anymore at all. Our stone staff is going to be reserved just for helping out with flyers. That's our inevitable goal. That's what we're trying to hit. And pretty soon we're going to have more money than we know what to do with. So we can actually throw in some fancy stuff in here and there as well. Extending out the freezes even more. Looks like a few of the baby flyers are starting to get by. I'm dead, Ithaca! All right, same strategy. We just need better execution. I'm on wave 2 right now, and the problem we had on wave 3 was that some flyers got behind us and didn't quite get taken down quite fast enough. And you could see that bile bat there, kind of the same thing, where he was just kind of hanging out on his own, doing his own thing, and unfortunately, we couldn't kill him in time. I'm going to drop a fear jar down here. I'm going to help with the void bats because this is starting to get a little clumped up. But all we're going to do to help our flyer problem is add more of these UFOs onto the back line. Unfortunately, we built one of those kind of off kilter, and we're going to fix that. Don't you worry. I do think what I said is true. All we had to do is focus on the flyers a little bit more. We could do that ourselves with the stone staff, or we can make our jobs even easier and not have to use the stone staff. And of course, at the end of the day, I'm trying to make this guide as easy as possible for you guys to follow. So let's make it as easy as possible for you guys to follow. There is a decent balance you have to figure out on this level, and hopefully I'm leading you down the right path to finding it. But you have to have the perfect balance of anti-air and anti-ground on this level to really make it all come together. My trap gauntlet is looking a little bare at the moment, so let's make it look a little bit better. Tar in the middle should help out a lot. I do have a mana potion here. Maybe we could cheese this a little bit and use my stone staff to take down a decent amount of these starting flyers. Those guys are still breaking through the wall, so I may just regen all of my mana passively anyway. I'm going to take down these last void bats and then we'll head back over. You can see more void bats, or actually those are just regular bats, are being driven in through the sides as well. It's not just that middle area. I could put some UFOs kind of above that rail there as well, if I'm worried about them kind of raining damage down on me. How much are those traps? Yeah, that looks like that might be the call. I'm going to drop a fear here in the middle of the lane. Go back and heal. That fear will keep them busy for a second longer. We have enough to build those UFOs that I was just talking about. Again, indented one towards the flyers on top of that platform. The reason I wouldn't rush into building those 3 that I just built is because those are effectively only hitting one enemy. It's flyer insurance, where everything else we've been placing throughout this round has been there to affect everyone. We have those mana potions, so I'm just going to spend some mana, run forward, and take out those flyers. That should make the rest of this level much easier. The fewer flyers there are, the more my archers can focus on these really big ground targets that we need to take down relatively quickly. We do need a little bit more ice inside of the gauntlet, as most enemies are still walking away unfrozen, but we could also just use more dazing effects in there as well for almost the same effect. And okay, things are looking a little bit better. I used that that potion on accident there, but with the rest of our funds, we should be able to pretty much finish off our trap gauntlet here in just a moment. This looks like the tail end of Wave 3. And after Wave 3, we should be pretty self-sufficient. A lot of the drama, a lot of the insecurities leading up to this point are all going to be gone. We won't have to worry about them at all. And my free staff, even though I have it out, you can see that ogre made it to the end of the gauntlet and was immediately repelled by the butterfly box. Excuse me, I had the hiccups. I was trying to hide them from you. All right, Wave 3, and we are going to have flyers coming in from both left and right sides. We need to finish off our kill box, which just includes adding in 2 more of the dart traps, as well as another one of the UFOs. We can also start to extend this out a little bit more, too, with tar in the middle, as well as brimstone in front of that. And we'll finish this off with a little bit more brimstone here shortly. We have flyers coming in from both sides, so we can use our early stone staff mana to just kind of camp these out. We could also just shoot these guys down out of the sky. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, there's no enemies close to us at this point in time, so spending our efforts with anti-air in mind is a good way to spend our efforts. Barricades in the middle getting a little beat up, but not that big of a deal. That's just from dynamite archers or maybe even flyers getting a little too close to me without me noticing. We've already raised enough capital to add in 1 more brimstone, almost enough for the other. I'm not going to fight this ogre at all. This is when our trap gauntlet needs to be coming online. And as you can see there, that ogre did not make any progress. There are some flyers on the high ground right now. We're just going to go up and with some easy shots, clear out the majority of them. We do have gnolls spawning. These guys are going to go straight for either me or my archers, and we just need to make sure that we're probably stacked together. If they get up here, hopefully they go through the gauntlet, you know? Hopefully I don't have to deal with them at all, but just in case I do, we want to make sure that we are ready. Dude, it looks like this line is holding really, really well. Really, really well. There's one of the gnolls.
Everything is working.
Maybe I extend this out a little bit more with 2 more barricades on each side. That way, if those barricades actually go down in the front, that's not a big deal at all. We can add in another layer of tar to keep them slowed down in the gauntlet even longer as well. And we're still racking up the money at this point. I am seeing a few, excuse me, few more flyers kind of slipping through the cracks there, so we're just going to add in yet another row of UFOs, and you can see the balance here. Even though they're all going down one path, this is effectively 2 different lanes of enemies that I'm having to deal with all at once. There's a nice yin and yang symbiote relationship here. That symbiotic, it's not a leech, symbiotic relationship here that I am trying to nurture. I don't think too many enemies are going to step to the side here. I think they're mostly going to go straight. So I'm not going to add in anything else here to kind of keep that more secured because I just don't think we need it. One thing we could use for sure is another line of archers. We effectively just doubled our DPS inside of the kill box as well as to the flyers. Well, maybe not in the kill box because we have a lot of traps in there as well. But if anyone does make it to the end, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. And then I don't see any reason of making this any more complex than it has to be. We can continue to expand this backwards, keeping just the same design. Butterfly boxes on the sides, right above freeze wall traps. And this round is coming to an end. So the reason I'm not really building my UFOs out further this direction, even though this is obviously where a lot of flyers are coming from, is because this only affects 1 lane of flyers. The flyers that are coming in from the east and west kind of come in through these archways here and then get back into the main path. So these that would come in the back, I don't even know if they would get hit by this line. So keeping everything a little more concentrated in this area has helped out a ton. One thing we could try doing is maybe even adding in a couple of those darts up there. And then since we have so much extra money to spare, hey guys, how's brimstone in the morning smell? Seriously, how do things smell? I don't do that.
Flyers in the air.
The reason I'm not in a rush to put those dart traps up there is simply because some of the flyers are also just immune to ice damage, which means that we're building that without being able to take down every enemy. So intrinsically, I just feel like it has less value in general. Although, you know, it does help. It helps a little bit. You don't have to do this by any means, but coming through the left side right now, I have some Gnoll Grenadiers, and I just don't want to have to deal with them. So I'm going to kind of single them out right now and try to take them down. Beautiful. Okay. While I was away, everything in the middle held just fine. Just fine. You love to see it. Now, on the final wave, I'm going to start talking about this now because you need to understand that it is coming, and it's coming up pretty fast. We are going to have a boss on the final wave, and I don't know if I bugged something out last time. I'm just going to leave a fear here just in case. I don't know if I bugged something out last time, but my archers were not shooting at the boss, so just be prepared for that. One little cheeky thing we can do now that we have our kill box pretty cemented is add in the bank of archers to the side. That is one of the war mode towers. However, is it gonna... There we go. There, they finally waking up. They will actually help us fight flyers, and I think they'll help us fight anyone who is unfortunately lifted up a little bit too high in the middle of the map as well. Meaning, even though I can only build those guys on the outside, they still shoot inside to help us take down enemies. I don't think they shoot in a ton. And I'll just be honest with you, I don't think they shoot in a lot. You could use that money elsewhere if you would like to do so. I just have gotten a lot of feedback that you want to see me actually use those war mode stuff. So there you go. We worked it into our trap gauntlet somehow. You can't say I don't listen to you guys. I listen to you all the time. Final wave, all we're going to do is build out the brimstone. Another thing about those bank of archers, keep in mind that they are effectively hurting your high score because they're killing a lot of stuff outside of the trap gauntlet. That being said, I don't think we're going to get a high score anyway. So throw it over there. One thing you really have to listen for on this map or watch for is when the boss spawns, we want to be over here shooting it the entire way. Like I said, I don't know if I bugged something out. I don't know if something went horribly wrong, but my archers literally did not shoot at the boss last time, and I cannot have that. As they are starting to trickle in from both the east and the west, you can see that everything is still totally intact here. If we were a little worried that these guys are cutting the corner, what we could do is add in a barricade on either side. But it actually looks like they're respecting the brimstone traps quite well. They're all walking into those really well. We do have the fire elementals that are spawning and starting to push their way in. However, as long as they die on brimstone, that brimstone will immediately kill off any of the smaller elementals that come out of that as well. They destroyed a barricade. Oh, the one up front. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, they destroyed this barricade? That's bad. I've never had that happen before. That might mean that enemies are on the higher road here, and I just need to check that really fast. Okay, buddy. Okay. Calm down, all right? Calm down. It's not... Let me fear this guy back. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with him. So those were the 4 kobolds that I was talking about earlier that might be a problem. Turns out they're now a problem. I'm just going to build a few archers here. These will help me take down some of these flyers. And, you know, whenever they feel like shooting... Oh, I lost my bank of archers on the right side. Whenever they feel like shooting, should also take this guy down relatively quickly. Although that doesn't actually... Oh my god, this is getting really stressful right at the end. The boss is in play. I have to kill this guy first before we can go anywhere else. He's dead. Now, I have to get effectively every headshot I possibly can on this guy if I want to kill him in time. And so far, I'm not hitting them. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, shit. Oh, shit! No. Please attack me. Oh, my archers are helping. And he stopped to shoot at the archers. This is great. This is great. Hey, what if I drop a fear right here? Would that have stopped him as well? Okay, things got a little tense there at the end. What can we do to alleviate this problem in your game? Well, on round 6, watch out for the sappers and just walk up and freeze them and they'll die. We could have alleviated that problem so very easily. All that's left of this round is flyers. We have 6 minutes left to deal with it. You know, in fact, I've never had this barricade line go down before, even in all my trials. I think what was happening before is they were spreading their damage out a little bit. One thing we could do to easily solve this as well is just build a few brimstone over here. We have excess money, and that brimstone would have taken them down no problem as well. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our guide. This map is basically over. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of the level. As I said, it was so hard to figure out. I went into this thinking I had the strategy in the bag already because, like I said, this was the first level that me and my friend really started to care about strategy as far as min-maxing our high score, really getting all of our traps into one area and experimenting with different strategies. I thought we had a winner. Good to go. 1.3 million? Well, let's round up. 1.4 million. I wonder how high that'll place us on the leaderboard. I have a feeling kind of low. I may not even be top 1,000. Oh, yeah, we're not. We are 2,480. How do you deal with the flyers and still get a higher multiplier? I don't know, but that's not what this video was about. That was our perfect 5-skull rating on the hardest difficulty. Thank you guys so much for being here and hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with a look at the Order Enclave. I don't remember these 2 levels at all, so I'm going to be learning from the ground up yet again. Take care. See you guys again soon.